Yes, sir, you can start.
Okay. So I will just wait for 1 more minute, and after that I will not admit anyone. Okay. Okay. So we're starting. Mm, so yesterday we learned about vector spaces. Why do we need a vector space, and we gave some example, right? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Please respond. That's the way I will know that you guys are listening. So please respond. Okay. So yesterday we learned about vector spaces. Now we have studied group also, right? So after you study the definition of group, you go for a subset of group and you check that if that is a group also or not. You call it subgroup, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So in vector space, we will also do the same thing. We will take a subset of a vector space, say V. You can see the screen.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So what we will take a subset W of a vector space V over a field. Field is necessary. I told you yesterday. To define a vector space, you always need to have a field, right? So suppose V is a vector space over a field F and W be a subset of V. Then you can call W a vector space over V, and W is also a subspace of V if W itself is a vector space. Under the same operation, the same plus and multiplication operation you did for V. Is it clear, the definition?
Yes, sir.
Sir, repeat.
Okay. So suppose there is a vector space V and there is a field F. The vector space V is defined over a field F, suppose. And there is a subset W of V. Like there is a subset W of that vectors which are in V, and we call this subset W. Now the concern is if W is vector space or not. So if W is vector space over the same field F and also under the operations addition and multiplication that is defined for V, under the same operation, if W is also a vector space, then we call W a vector subspace or a subspace of V. Clear?
Clear, sir. Clear.
Okay. So for example, every vector space should contain zero vector, null vector. So if you consider the null vector only, you can see that it is a subspace. It will hold all the properties of vector space trivially. And you can call the vector space V itself a subspace of V. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. No, sir. Sir, can you please repeat?
Which portion should I repeat? Definition or the example?
The example.
Example, okay. Suppose V is a vector space over a field F. I can call V a subspace of itself. V is a subset of itself or not?
Yes, sir.
So V is also a vector space.
Yes, sir.
So V is itself, V is a subspace of itself. I can say that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Similarly, for zero vector, null vector only, if the subset zero null vector, suppose a subset V contains a, always V will contain the null vector, right? Vector space will contain a null vector. It is the definition, right?
Yes, sir.
So if you consider the null vector only, then it will, if you can check that, it will be a subspace also. Like if you consider all the properties that have to maintain to be a vector space, zero will follow all of that. Because it is, you can say it is vacuously true, because there is no other element except zero. So we can say that zero will follow all the properties. Is it clear, or shall I repeat again for zero?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Okay. Now, suppose you have given a vector space and a subset of that vector space W. How can you check that W is a subspace or not? Right? For that, you don't need to go through all that eight number of assumptions that you have to check for vector space. You just need three points that have to be checked. Like, suppose there is a vector space V and a subset of that V is given. Okay, W. Theorem 1.3. I'm telling you, theorem 1.3. Subset of V is given to you. You just have to check if the zero vector belongs to W, and for all X and Y that is inside W, X plus Y should be in W also, the closure property. And for any scalar that belongs to the field, and for any vector in W, if the scalar multiplication of A and X belongs to W or not. If these three properties follow, W will be a subspace of B. The proof, I'm not going through the proof, but in the proof, if you are interested, you can check the proof, and if you don't understand, I will tell you in after this class or some other day. You can go through the proof by yourself, and you can check that these three conditions will cover all the 8 conditions of vector space for checking subspace.
Sir, is the proof necessary?
No, for you it is not necessary, I guess, but if you are interested, you can check. I am not going through the proof here.
Okay, sir.
Okay. If you're interested, you can check the proof. Okay. So I will go through some examples of vector subspace. So yesterday you had some examples of vector space. You have known, yesterday I told you that matrix, a collection of matrix, is a vector space under the real field, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Now suppose I consider a subset of that collection of all matrices. I am just gathering all the matrices that are symmetric. Okay. So suppose I say that the collection of all matrices is denoted by this notation, M n cross n F, and the collection of all symmetric matrices, suppose, is denoted by let me write here. Suppose I write all set of matrices as M n cross n R. What is R? The element of the matrix are real number. That is why it is, I'm writing here R. And all square matrices of dimension n cross n. Okay. And I am denoting all the symmetric matrices as, suppose, S n cross n, where elements are from R. So is it clear that this S n cross n R will be a subset of M n cross n R? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is a vector space I told you. Now we have to check if this is a vector space or not. So I'm writing the conditions here. 0 vector belongs to W for all. Second condition was for all x and y belongs to W. X plus y belongs to W. And third condition was for any A belongs to the field. Here is R. The field is R, real number. AX belongs to W. And X can be anything also from W. Okay. So these three conditions have to be followed to be a vector space, for W to be a vector space. So here W is basically this one and V is basically this one, right? Got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So check 0 vector in vector space, 0 vector in for matrices. If you consider the n cross n all n cross n matrices over real number, what is the 0 vector here?
All entries 0 in the matrix.
What? All entries 0. That is basically 0 matrix, null matrix, right? Is it symmetric, this matrix?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So it belongs to this also. So first condition holds, right? This condition holds. Now for all x and y belongs to W. Here W is this one, the symmetric matrices. So let A be a matrix belongs to this set of all symmetric matrices, and B also matrix which is symmetric. So what I have to check if A plus B belongs to, hello?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Yes, sir.
What do I have to check here? First, to check the second condition, what do I have to check?
If A plus B belongs to
A plus B is equals
also
symmetric.
belongs to S.
Yes. So if A plus B belongs to the set of all symmetric matrices, right? So you know that A plus B transpose equals to A transpose plus B transpose. It is known to all, I guess.
yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So basically, and now A belongs to the set of all symmetric matrices, right? So A transpose is A also, and B transpose is B. So look, A plus B is also symmetric, right? That means A plus B belongs to this set. So we have checked this also, right? Got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now I have to check the third condition. Third condition is for any A belongs to R, A is a real number. So suppose A is a real number. And for any A belongs to W, that means here W is the set of all symmetric matrices of dimension n cross n. So I have to check if this matrix belongs to this or not. Will it belong here?
Yes, sir.
Because if you multiply with any scalar, if you multiply a matrix with any scalar and take transpose, it will be the same matrix if the matrix was if the previous matrix was symmetric, right? Same logic.
Yes, sir.
Sir, why we are taking the transpose?
To check symmetricity, what you have to check? Symmetric definition. What is the definition of symmetric? A transpose is A.
Yes, sir.
So suppose you have given a matrix A and a scalar A. If you check that this equals to this, then you can say that this matrix A, capital A, is symmetric, right?
Right, sir.
So for that, you can already, if you take a matrix, say suppose A1, 1, A2, 2, I'm not writing that, and multiply it with a scalar A, then all elements will be multiplied with that scalar A. And if you take transpose, that you will get the same matrix because it was symmetric already. A was symmetric. If you take the transpose, it will become the same matrix, right? Got it?
Right, sir. Got it.
Yeah. So all the three conditions are checked. So that means you can say that this is a subspace of this. And what is the underlying field here? R, real number. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now there are several examples. For matrix, there are several examples. Like if you consider all the matrices which are diagonal, only diagonal elements are non-zero, or it can be zero also. The non-diagonal elements are zero, basically. So this set of matrices, the set of all diagonal matrices also can be considered a subspace of the all square matrices of same dimension, n cross n. Can you check it? Can anyone share their screen and do it for me? The diagonal matrices are subspace of set of all matrices. Does anyone, are any one of you interested in doing it? Or do I pick randomly? Let's say Kaushik Roy. Kaushik Roy, can you hear me? Are you guys listening or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So can you show me that the set of all diagonal matrices is also a subspace? I will help you, don't worry. Just can you do it? Or shall I do it?
No, sir. Sorry.
Okay, I will do it then. Or you can try it at home also. The similar way I have shown you the previous example. The set of all symmetric matrices are subspace of the set of all n cross n matrices, square matrices. And similarly, the set of all diagonal matrices is a subspace of the set of all n cross n matrices. Okay. Can you do it in home, or shall I do it here?
Sir, just prove the second point, sir.
Second point, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Means, yeah, it is very obvious, but how we can prove it in mathematical language?
Okay. So zero vector is there. There is nothing, no doubt in it, right?
Yes, sir.
So now let's suppose I have a diagonal matrix, say D1, which is like A1, A2, AN, and another diagonal matrix D2, which is B1, B2, BN.
So can we directly say that, like, of course, it will always be a diagonal matrix, a D1 plus D2?
After a certain level of mathematical maturity, you can directly say it, but
not right now.
Not right now. You are just learning the subject, so you have to prove it rigorously.
Okay.
It is very obvious, but still. Okay.
Sir, just adding the both, that is A1 plus B1, A2 plus B2, and so on.
Yeah. That will again be a diagonal matrix.
Yes.
So it belongs to the same set. Got it?
Okay, yes, sir.
Okay. Now there are several examples, like I told you in previous class that a set of all polynomials whose coefficients are real number is a vector space. Similarly, you can check that the set of all polynomials of degree n or less than equals to n is again will be a subspace of the polynomial set of all polynomials. You can check it, and there are these examples also. Example 3, example 4 is quite interesting. Example 4 is saying that the set of all n cross n matrices, real matrices, whose trace is 0. Do you know what is trace? The sum of all diagonals.
Yes, sir, sum of the diagonal elements.
Diagonal elements.
Yeah. Yes. So if I take a set collection of all the matrices of order n cross n and whose trace is 0, it will be a subspace of the collection of all matrices of order n cross n, of dimension n cross n. You can similarly prove this. You can try this at home, and if you if you don't get it, just message me in WhatsApp. I will tell you there. Okay. Just try this at home. Next was in subgroup. What I have learned, that intersection of two subgroup is a subgroup again or not?
Yes.
Maybe yes, sir. In case of yes.
Intersection
Will always
of
be a subgroup.
Yes, sir. Intersection
Always.
always occur. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Similarly, in vector space, if you consider two vectors, two subspace of a vector space V, say that W1 and W2 be vector subspace of V, then W1 intersection W2 will always be a vector subspace of V. Okay. I'm not proving the theorem again, but if you're interested, you can check it. It's in the book. Now the question is, what about the union?
Sir, it is also like group. It will not necessarily to be followed.
In group, it is not necessarily true, but in vector space,
It has to be contained in the other.
what contained in the other?
One of the subspace must be contained in the other, then it will be, then the union will be.
Okay, if I give you suppose, yeah, that would be a vector space. Okay, if it is contained in the other, it would be a vector space for sure. But otherwise, that if it is not contained in the other, like suppose these two vector space are like this, V, W1 and W2, then what can you say?
So it should still be a vector space.
Then it
Yes,
won't be.
sir.
It won't be.
It won't be. Can you give an example? Like I have given you 3 examples of vector subspaces over matrices, right? A diagonal one, the trace 0 one, and the symmetric matrices one. There are 3 subspaces I told you about matrices. From that, can you give me 2 examples whose union is not a vector space?
So you can prove it from here only. Like if x1 belongs to w1 and x2 belongs to w2.
Look, in mathematics, you, suppose you have to prove that something is not happening. For that, you generally give a counter example. An example is enough. So can you give me a counter example which doesn't? You give me 2 vector subspace, but their union is not a vector subspace. I am giving you one. Can you tell me the other one? The one is the diagonal one, the set of all diagonal matrices. Like, wait 1 second.
So in a set of real numbers, if we take one subset as the multiples of 2 and one subset as the multiples of 3, so then the union, let's say, that won't be a subspace.
Tell me again.
So let's say the vector space in whole is the set of all real numbers. So if we take a subspace as subspace 1 as the multiples of 2, and subspace
Multiples of
2
2.
as the
That means you are taking these even numbers, right? 2k.
Yes, sir. Even numbers 2, 4, like this, sir.
Okay.
And the
And
second
odd
subspace
number is
no, so not odd numbers. So multiples of 3, let's say.
multiples of 3.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So
3k.
2 plus
Is
3
it
is 5.
is it a subspace? First, tell me, is it a subspace or not? These two. 0 belongs to here. 0 belongs to here. 2k1 plus 2k2 belongs to also w1. It is always be even. And
Yes, sir.
3k1 plus 3k2 always be in w2.
Yes, sir.
Right?
So multiplicative identity.
Multiplicative.
Identity. That is, let's say 2 into 1 by 2. 1 by 2 is not belongs to W1.
Multiplicative identity.
Sir, but we need to check only those 3 conditions, right? So those 3 conditions are being met.
Yes. This will not belongs to. But so what was the third condition? For any A belongs to field.
Yes, sir. AX
Sir,
should
first of
belong
all,
to-
it need to be a vector subspace. no?
Yes.
Then only we can prove.
Third condition is failing. For any A belongs to F and for any W belongs to W, AW should belongs to W. Right? So if I take suppose half belongs to real number, but half multiplied by 2 equals to 1 doesn't belong to W1, right?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So it is not a vector subspace.
Okay, sorry, sir.
It's okay, fine. So I'm giving a hint here. The examples I have taught you today, the 3 vector subspace of the of n cross n matrices, right? One was the symmetric set of all symmetric matrices. One was the set of all diagonal matrices, and one was the set of all matrices whose trace is 0. Let's say we denote it by W, n cross n R. Okay, these are 3 subspaces of the vector space of all matrices of n cross n over R. So suppose you take this one and this one. So will their union be a subspace of this? Suppose a symmetric matrix, right? Let A be a symmetric matrix and D be a diagonal matrix. So A plus D doesn't belongs to D always, not necessarily, right?
Yes, sir.
Also it might not belongs to A also. No, it would belongs to A, I guess. A plus D belongs to A, sorry. So I have to prove that this is not a vector space. Look here, 0 belongs to both of them. So 0 belongs to A plus D, A union D also, right? A union D I am taking. Oh, sorry. Got it? 0 belongs to A union D. So first condition holds. Right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let's see the second condition. Let A be a matrix in the first set and D be a diagonal matrix. So I have to check if A plus D belongs to this set, union of both these two. So A plus B may not be diagonal, but is it symmetric? Yes, it is symmetric. So it is also true, I guess.
Yes, sir, it is symmetric, sir.
So it belongs to this, but it is not diagonal. Okay. Okay. Then if I take any matrix, wait 1 second. Wait. Okay, I will tell you the example later. Okay, right now I'm so confused here. This was holding, I guess. It should not be. Okay, next class, just remind me that I have to prove this, that union is not always a vector space. Okay. Okay, next class I will tell you this one. So,
Sir, I have a proof for this.
okay, tell me.
Sir, W1 union, sir, right? W1 union W2. If it's a vector space, then taking it two elements which belongs to W1,
Union
but it does not.
You are taking W1 union W2, and you are considering it to be a subspace, right? And it is a subspace. You are taking it.
I'm taking a element X from this subspace. I'm assuming it is a subspace.
Yes.
And then
yes.
I'm taking a element from this subspace such that it belongs to W1 but does not belong to W2. And similarly, I take a Y which belongs to W2 but does not belong to W1. So
Okay.
the claim is that X plus Y would not belong to either of them.
Y2 belongs Y belongs to W1. So you are claiming that X plus Y
would not belong to the union of.
If it belongs, then what will happen? If it belongs, then
it belongs to W1 or W2, and if X plus Y belongs to W, then by like since
then
W1
X,
is
because if X plus Y belongs to this, then what will happen? If X plus Y belongs to this, then
sir, if X plus Y belongs to W1 union W2,
union
it will
W2.
X plus Y either belongs to W1 or belongs to W2. So if X plus Y belongs to W1, let's say, then since W1 is also a subspace, so X and Y must both belong to W1. This is a contradiction to our assumption.
Yeah. Got it. Okay. So I'm coming to the next chapter, which is linear combination. Do you have any idea what linear combination is? Like in real life, what is combination and other things? Combination means you are considering some collection of object and combining this, right? So in vector space also, you are doing the same thing. Suppose you have a vector space V and a set, a subset S of that vector space V here. Okay. S is a non-empty subset of vector space V. And we call a vector X, which is in V, a linear combination of elements of S. If there exists finite number of elements, say y1 to yn in S, and scalars a1 to n in F, that is the field, scalar elements, and you can write X as the sum, the given sum here. So then you can call X is a linear combination of from y1, y2 and ... yn. Got it?
Sir, repeat once more.
Sir,
Yeah, tell me.
sir, in the normal linear combination, that should be equals to 0, no? Means in case of the linear combination that we taught in high school.
No, it will not always be V. Like if you give me a three-dimensional space, like the 3D space, R3, okay, and if I give you two vectors in R3, say 1, 0, 0 and 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1. So will it, if you consider all possible linear combinations, will it be the whole vector space R3?
No, sir.
Why? Because see here, the z component is in both the vectors as 0.
Yes, sir.
Right. So if you combine anyway, the z component will always be 0. You will just get the xy plane. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So his question is like, does linear combination always make the whole vector space? I'm answering that this is not true, because suppose this plane, what is this vector? This is x-axis. Suppose this is x-axis, this is y-axis, and this is z-axis. This vector you denote it by I. I is basically the vector 1, 0, 0, right? This vector you denote by j. J is 0, 1, 0. And this vector, the unit vectors basically. K, you denote it by 0, 0, 1. So if I give you, if I say you that you give me all the linear combinations of I and J only, then what will you get? You get this plane only, right? You just get this plane, because if you combine these two, the z component here is always be 0. So however you combine it, the z component always will remain 0, so you won't get any z value other than 0. So you won't get the whole space, you just get this one. Got it? Clear?
Clear, sir.
Now what is basically linear combination? Linear combination is you have a vector space V, a subset S of vector space V, and you say that X in V is a linear combination LC of elements of S if X equals to A1 Y1 plus A2 Y2 dot dot plus N Yn. If you can write X as this form where Y1 Y2 both all these Yi's belongs to S, you can say that X is a linear combinations of these Yi's, and or you can also say that X is a linear combination of elements of S. But the definition is clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Basically, till now, what you have done in your physics or maths in 11th or 12th, you have written all the vectors as some A1 I plus A2 J. So this is basically the linear combination of these two vectors, I and J. Right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So now the question is, wait 1 second. Okay. Now, where was it? Okay. Look here. 3 vectors are given. One is V1, V2, and V3. The vectors belongs to R2, right? This plane.
Yes, sir.
1, 1 is basically this one. 4, 6 is basically like this kind of thing, and 3, 5 is basically 4, 6, 3, 5. 3, 5 will be here and here. This kind of thing. So the question is, can 1, 2 be written as a linear combination of these 3 vectors? So suppose it can be written. So we are thinking that it can be written. So 1, 2 can be written as A1 V1 plus A2 V2 plus A3 V3, where A1, A2 and A3 belongs to the real numbers, right? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are audible, sir.
Okay. Now check that A1 into A1 V1, this scalar multiplication. Here V1 is this. So A1 V1 will be A1 comma A1. A2 V2 will be 4 A2 comma 6 4 A2 comma 6 A2, and A3 V3 will be 3 A3 comma 5 A3 here, and we are adding this. So A1 component wise addition will happen. A1 plus 4A2 plus 3A3, A1 plus 6A2 plus 5A3. We will get this vector. So we have to check if this equation has solution or not. Is it clear till now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So for checking this equation, we are using elimination method, right? So we are just, what we're doing, let's say this is 1 and let's say this is 2. What we're doing, we're doing simply 2 minus 1. 2 minus 1 for the equation second. We are eliminating A1 from the second equation. So we are using 2 minus 1. So what will happen? The second equation will become 2A2 plus 2A3 equals to 1, right?
Yes, sir.
So suppose here A2 equals to T. A2 has a solution, let's say T. Then what will A3 be? 1 minus 2T by 2.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
From here. And
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
what will A1 be?
A1 can be anything, sir.
Not anything. You are assuming A2 to be T and A3 to be this from the second equation. Then A1, from first equation you will get A1 as a function of T.
Yes, sir.
So let's say what will it become? 1 minus 4A2 means 4T minus 3A3, 3 by 2, 1 minus 2T. So there are infinite number of solutions depending on the value of T, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we can say T can be 1. If T is 1, then A2 equals to 1, A3 will be minus half, and A1 would be 1 minus 4 minus 3 by 2 into 1 minus 2, that is minus 1. So 1 minus 4 plus 3 by 2 minus 3 plus 3 by 2, that is minus 5 by 2, I guess. Check. It can be that is not actually the thing is you will get a solution depending on the values of T. That is not important that what will be the value. You will get some value. If you calculate, you will get a value. So if you say A1 is A2 is 1, A3 is minus up, and A1 is this minus 5 by 2, then if you put these values here, then you say that I have got a linear combination of V1, V2, V3 that will give me the vector 1, 2, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is the concept of linear combination. So
Sir.
there, tell me.
Sir, you had drawn the graph in the Cartesian plane. That is means. Yes, sir.
Where? Here, I guess. Which one? Tell me. This one.
Yes, sir. So, is there any method to tell that 1, 2 will be a linear combination or not by analyzing the graph or something like?
Yeah,
Means
basically.
without any mathematical calculation.
Yeah, basic. That's what I am telling. This geometry, linear algebra is always about geometry. Okay, I will come to this after a certain time. It will be, the more you do some problems in linear algebra, the geometry behind it would be clear to you. So basically, this is theory. The theory of linear algebra is just a basic thing. The linear algebra theory would not help you much, but if you do problem solving in linear algebra, it would be, you would grow much more concept by doing it. You will see that it is nothing but geometry in basically R2 plane or R3 plane. So I can say that, look here, one thing let me just, I will complete today's class with a simple question that would give you the geometry behind this linear algebra, the linear combination. Okay, I will complete this class by that problem. Okay, it would come. So what I was telling? Okay, so there are just some examples. I'm not going through the examples now. You can check that they have given some vectors, polynomial vectors. Okay, and they have given you another vector. You have to check that that polynomial can be generated by other three polynomials or not by the same method. Here it is, and basically tuples. There it is basically polynomials, the coefficient of polynomials. How we compare polynomials? That's it. So I'm not going through the other examples. You can check it easily. So what I am telling is today another thing that is called span. Span of a basically set of vectors. Span of a set of vectors. So for that, suppose V is a vector space given to you, and S be a subset which is non-empty of that vector space V. And W, okay, I'm writing here. Let S be a subset of V, which is a vector space, right? And W be a subset of subspace of V, subset of V, where W basically is all possible linear combination of elements of S. If you go through the proof, I'm just telling you that W would be a subspace of V. W would be a subspace of V. Okay. The proof is given in the book. I'm not giving you the proof. You can check it if you're interested. W would be a subspace of V. And not only that, W would be the smallest subspace that would contain the set S.
Sir, could you please repeat once again, sir?
Suppose V is a vector space and S is a non-empty subset of V. Okay?
Okay, sir.
And W is, I'm defining W as all possible linear combination of elements of S. Clear till now?
Yes, sir.
You can prove that W is a subspace of V. The proof is given in the book. If you're interested, you can check. It will always be a subspace of V. Not only that, W would be the smallest subspace which will contain the set S. That means if suppose there is another subspace W dash that contains S, which is smaller than W, then you can say W dash equals to W, because this theorem just states that W is always the smallest subspace that will contain S. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now just let me add another page. Now check how the geometry comes in linear algebra. Okay, if I give you, say, a vector 1, 0, okay, it is a vector subspace of R, not 1, 0, A into 1, 0. That basically A, 0. This is a vector subspace of R3. Is it or is it not?
Sir, R3 or R2?
R3.
R2.
R2.
Yes, sir.
It would be of R3 also.
Why, sir?
Check the 0, 0 vector is there.
Yes, sir, it is.
A can be 0. Okay. If A, 0, B, 0 is there, so A plus B, 0 will also be there. And if you give me any B belongs to R, then B into A, 0, that would be B, A, 0. That would be also belongs to the set of all this kind of elements. Right? So the set of all elements of this form where A belongs to R is a subspace of R3. Sorry, A, 0, 0 actually.
That's why, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. That's what I'm telling.
Yeah. So it is a subspace of R3, right? Clear?
Yes, sir.
So basically, what is R3? R3 is basically this three-dimensional space, and A, 0 basically is a line passing through origin. It can be right. So look here, a line in this three-dimensional space passing through origin will be a vector subspace, right? Is it a line? A, 0, 0. It is an equation of a line, right?
Sir, yeah. Sir,
So it is a vector.
the line, sir, it should
It is a
pass
vector.
where x equals to a, sir.
Is A times the first vector, like
Yeah,
I vector.
yeah, and A can be 0 also. So basically passing through origin,
Yes.
Okay, sir.
right? So a line passing through origin is a subspace of the whole space. Again, if I say that I have two vectors now, one is 1, 0, 0, and another is 0, 1, 0. Now consider the set of all possible linear combinations of these two vectors. What will it be? A into 1, 0, 0 and 0 plus B into 0, 1, 0, where A and B belongs to the real set of all real numbers, right?
So it will be the whole plane, Euclidean plane.
Yes, it would be a plane A, B, 0. So basically it would give you the XY plane. So this is also a vector subspace of the whole space. First the line, then the plane. And now if I give you three vectors here, say 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, and 0, 0, 1.
Sir, it represents the total
Yes.
3D space.
Yes. Now, till now, what you have learned that the 3D space, what is the dimension of the 3D space?
The 3-dimensional, the name suggests.
3. So now check. Now check. I have got three vectors that spans the whole space. So it is not coincidence that this number is the number of vectors to span the whole space is also 3 and the dimension is also 3. It is not a coincidence. So by dimension, I will tell you later in details, but just to give you the essence of this, dimension is basically the smallest number of vectors that is needed to cover a whole space. That is the dimension of the space. So, got it?
Yes, sir.
Now look another thing. Now look another thing. If I give you three vectors again, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, and 1, 1, 0, will it cover the whole space? No.
Yes, sir.
No, sir.
Check it. The z,
No, sir.
z component will always
No,
be
sir.
0. This will again give you the xy plane,
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
right? So what is the difference between these three set of vectors and the previous three set of vectors?
So the previous one covered the whole three
Space.
axes,
Yes.
and it covered only the two axes.
But why these three vectors cover only the three axes?
Because any multiple
Because this linear-
means the z component will always be 0.
Yeah. So
So the xy plane will also consist here. Will only
Yes.
consist here.
the third vector is also linearly dependent. All are not linearly independent.
but third vector is, yes, there is a thing called linear dependence and independence. I will tell you in the next class. For today, I'm summing it up here. Okay. So I'm just to give you the essence of dimension here. I have just told you a little bit of this thing. In the next class, I will be telling you about linear dependence and independence, and we will go to the thing called basis and dimension. Dimension is basically the number of elements in a basis of a vector space. Basis, I will define it later. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So till now,
Okay,
any
sir.
question? Till now, from the beginning to today's lesson, is there any question? Someone asked me that he could not understand the that example in the previous class, which was not a vector space. Is he there in this class?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So do you understand it now, or I need to?
Yes, sir. If you do it, then it will be helpful.
The example 6, right?
Yes, sir.
Sir, please
Example.
Yes, sir. Please explain.
This one, example 6, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Wait. Suppose I have a set S, which is basically any two elements A1, A2, the pair, and A1 and A2 belongs to R. I have to check if this set S is a vector space is a vector space or not under the operation. The operations are defined here. The operations are defined as these. A1, A2 plus B1, B2 is basically here they defined A1 plus B1, A2 minus B2. Okay. And the multiplication is as it is defined in the normal vector space. Right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now it is saying that VS1, VS2 and VS8 will fail. So what was VS1? It will not be commutative. Let's check it. So suppose I have two vectors.
Sir, I had problem with VS8, sir.
VS8. Okay. VS8. What was VS8? A plus B into X equals to AX plus BX. Okay. So A plus B is basically scalar. And X, say A1, A2. So what it will be? A plus B into A1, A plus B into A2. Right? Now it will be like A1 plus BA1, A2 plus BA2. This is the LHS. What was the RHS? RHS I have to check this one, AX plus BX. Right? what is ax? A into x is a1 comma a2 plus b into a1 comma a2. It is basically a1 comma a2 plus ba1 comma ba2. Now, by the rule of addition defined here, it will become aa1 plus ba1 comma aa2 minus ba2, right?
Oh yes sir, yes sir, got it, got it. Yes.
So LHS is not equals to RHS, so this is not defined, right?
Yes sir, thank you sir.
Are there any question other than this?
Can you explain the example 7?
Example 7, okay, right. One second. What was in example 7? This is defined as a1 plus b1 comma 0. Which one do you not understand? VS3, VS4 or VS5?
So VS5.
VS5. So let's say this VS3 you have understood, right? What was VS3? VS3 was there exists an element V denoted as 0 such that x plus 0 equals to x. X plus 0 equals to x. So example 7. Suppose you have taken an element, say a1 comma a2, where both are non-zero, and b1 okay, a1 comma a2 and both are non-zero, and you have taken the 0th element of the vector space. So what should it give? Like I am saying that VS3, why VS3 failed? So first I have let us take one vector a1 comma a2 and let 0 be the 0th vector. It can be say b1 comma b2. I don't know the 0th vector here. So what should, according to VS3, what should this give?
A vector.
Same vector A, right? And we are assuming these both are non-zero. Okay. So now if you add these two vectors, a comma 0 vector, you will get a1 plus b1 comma 0. But this cannot be the a vector because this one is 0. Right?
Okay, sir. Right, sir.
So VS3 fails. Now from that they are concluding that VS5 will also fail. What was VS5? VS5 for each element x in V, 1 x equals to x. Example 7. Okay, 1x should be x, but if you say c is equal to 1 here, then 1 into x, again if you consider the x vector where both components are non-zero, but you get a 0 component here. So it will not remain same, right?
Right, sir.
So VS5 also fails. Clear?
Clear, sir.
Okay. So other than this, any question? You are doing these problems or not? The exercise problems?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Okay, so Friday's class I will go. I will teach you this thing. Linear combination I have taught you, and I will do the dimension, basis and dimension.
Sir,
Tell me.
sir, we need to go through all the problem in the exercises or the selective one.
You don't have to go through all the problems. I'm actually teaching your first class. I'm actually teaching you guys first. Okay, so I don't have this kind of knowledge that what question will come in your exam, and so let me ask some of my seniors. I will tell you then.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, sir. So from that in the tomorrow's class, you will tell.
In tomorrow's class, I will tell, I guess. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
So do we have class tomorrow?
Not tomorrow. Actually,
Tomorrow
Friday.
means the next class. Yes.
Next
Okay,
class.
okay.
Friday. Okay. So next class, I will teach you about this dependence and independence thing, linear independence and dependence, and I will try to enter this base and dimension thing. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Thank you. And CRs, just give me the roles like previous class. Were attending this class. Okay. Hello.
Joydeep.
Yes, sir.
Joydeep, you send me the attendance, okay?
Yes, sir.
Joydeep
I'm
and-
making the list.
Okay, and Shravana also. Okay. So
Okay, sir. So, sir, can you leave? Can we leave now?
yeah, you can leave. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.